Oh, you didn't give me one yesterday. I did get one a long time ago. You and children.
This is
No, that's a
and
different
Friends.
And you have 2 tapes of mine. One for you to keep. Okay. At any rate, you grew up things, and you have concern for your children as they sort of leave the nest and they go all over. And one of the things that we always say, of course, is we say the going away prayer, which has become sort of tradition out of Janet's family. And whenever someone's going someplace, but also then I always say, well, drive carefully and don't do dumb things. You know, like, don't do dumb things. And of course, that has become one of my hallmarks of advice for our children and hopefully our grandchildren too, or anybody else. But there's so many dumb things that are done in the world that are not necessary.
Do you remember Daddy saying about if he'd ask you to do something and you'd say, well, I don't know how, and he would say, well, you'll never learn younger?
That's right. That's
Never
right.
learn.
Daddy would say, well, you'll never learn younger.
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
I use a lot of...
That's pretty good.
That is good.
That's a good
Hey,
comment.
Jim, do you plan to shoot this as 4th?
Well, I think we may
Okay,
try if we
good.
have any. If we can get any cherry bombs.
Well, I can get them. I'll send you some if I can.
Listen, be careful. You can't send them from the mail.
No, parcel post out of UPS.
UPS.
Yeah.
Okay. You better not tell them what's in it.
How many do you want? A gross?
Oh, gross? No, man. Just
A couple dozen?
No, just a dozen's fine. It's not a.
Can you get black powder here?
I can get black powder. Okay.
How?
Go down to the store and buy it.
Gun store.
Gun store.
Okay.
And
I
gotta
bought
get
some little
crackers,
worms at the
firecrackers
grocery
to-
store.
I like those worms.
Yes,
That's
and I
uses,
bought
of
some of the
course.
poppers that
Remember
you
those
could throw
zebra
down.
firecrackers?
Yeah.
They were really something, weren't they?
Yeah. I think black cats are better than zebras nowadays.
I don't know what black cats are.
Well,
I never heard of black cats.
remember though, the hits weren't as loud, but they were always dependable. They always went off. And Dad said it was because they were made in America. You can't count on these foreign firecrackers.
I don't recall that, but I mean, I guess that's...
Well, he did. They did have a lot better few.
Another
than
thing I wanted to add was the wonderful birthday parties that Mom had for all of us.
That's right.
Jimmy had one. It was, the little dog barked, and the cat, calico cat, and the...
Oh,
What was that?
Medill Gartizer had his flute, and he was a Pied Piper. And Tom was
Cat,
the
you were the
calico
dog.
cat. Who was up in the... Who was
Oh,
the
I was
gingham
the dog. You were the cat.
I was a cat up in the tree.
Calico cat.
And we had this thing in the basement worked out.
This was in the living room.
No, it wasn't, because we had a thing. Daddy built a thing for us to climb up into a tree.
It was in the living room, but that's not important.
Okay. We had to walk through the sugar plum thing and all that sort of... Is that right, Helen?
I don't know. I just heard stories.
Well,
I
that was
was
your
too young
birthday,
to
though.
remember. That was your birthday party.
Maybe
it was
Lee,
Bub's.
maybe it's Bub's birthday.
Yeah.
But at any rate, I know Tom played a role. I played a role, and Medill Gartizer played a role.
Yeah.
And we were these animals,
Cat,
Yeah.
dog, and Pied Piper.
And the Pied Piper. And the Pied Piper led all the kids
Yeah.
through the thing.
That
you
must
see.
have been Bub's.
And that must have been Bub's
Yeah.
party.
I had a party that Tom was the magician, and he did also he did the puppet show. And then I had another one where Tom's band played, and we had a backwards luncheon, and we all walked
What's a backwards luncheon?
Well, we all walked backwards into the dining room, and we started with dessert, and then we went on
that's
to our
great.
main course.
I never
Mom
heard of
was
that.
really very creative. And another thing about Mom,
Oh.
when I broke my arm in Florida, I was only about 7 or 8 years old. Tom, you were there. That was the year we went down just before Christmas. We had just gotten the house and we're trying to get organized, and there was a refrigerator salesman. I had been out walking our dog Whitey, saw another dog, stumbled on the sidewalk, came in like this, turned my arm over, and of course I had a green stick fracture.
Ew.
And I remember sitting down in the corner of the kitchen on a pile of old sheets or something, I don't remember why, and Mom's talking to some salesman of some kind, takes one look at my arm, and we're all off to Was it Dr. Payne? What was his name?
Dr. Payne.
That's kind of
The bone
unfortunate.
doctor. You don't remember his name?
No.
Oh, he was awfully good. He gave me a shot in my arm before he said it, and I didn't even realize it. Well, anyway, and while I was in there, you found a licorice factory, and you got me some licorice that was still warm.
Good gosh.
Anyway, that year when Mom made up all these stories about Minnie Mouse and her sewing machine, Donald Duck's birthday party, she used the Disney characters, but she made up all these stories, and it's a shame they weren't written down. They were wonderful stories. And each day she would make up another one and go on and on. I wish I could remember them, but Minnie Mouse and her sewing machine, that would have been so appropriate for all of you because
Right.
you all sew.
Is there any tape left?
Sure. It's a whole tape.
I just have something I like to say, sort of. For Jim's progeny. Turn it off a minute. I want to talk about you for just a second, for your progeny. That you made my life one heck of a lot better. With you really told me what music was all about. I met your friends. You were the predecessor in all my classes and all the schools, including college. And I was basically a shy person, and you were outgoing, a gregarious type. And it really got my foothold in. It made it so much easier.
Sometimes those things happen, you don't realize that they're happening.
Hell of a big brother.
Yeah, well.
Well, I have three of you, and of course Jim made me listen to good jazz because he didn't want me to be square. And I don't know a whole lot about it, but I recognize good jazz most of the time because of you. And I did come up with Anita O'Day's name last night, which that was dumb blind luck though.
Helen, did you ever get packed? Are you ready?
I'm in the car.
I have an idea. Since
What?
it's pushing noon, why don't we split?
Yeah, we've got it.
And I'm sure that you're going to need just a touch of tape sometime before you go to the camera. And you say, damn, we took the last bit of tape. You just save something.
No,
We've
we're
got
on a
fresh-
brand new
brand
roll.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Mass
tell 'em.
produce
And-
these things now.
You know, there's some things I had flash into my head and they're gone. And I'm sorry I can't think of them right now that I wanted to add as, I just, it's gone, like the little list, you know.
Okay.
Comes up to your consciousness and it goes. And I'm sorry, I just can't pull back.
You used to talk about your dogs. You had two wonderful dogs. Do you guys
Whitey.
remember the dogs?
Whitey was a wonderful
And
dog.
Max?
And
Was
Max.
Well,
Max was not
killed
as
by
good a
car.
dog as
Max was all
Whitey.
right. He was sort of the village idiot. But
Yeah.
Whitey was...
Max
He
was
wore
a,
himself
that's right.
out.
But Whitey was a stray that came up that had been obviously abused terribly.
He
And-
followed
and-
me home from
and-
kindergarten.
Is that it? And Whitey was a wonderful little stray. And I don't know what kind of dog he had in him, but he was marvelous. And of course, he became so protective of especially
He
Helen.
loved Helen.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's right. And for instance, when Brocious' Airedale would come in, they're huge dogs, would come into the yard, Whitey was always between Helen and that Airedale.
All of us.
And a very protective, wonderful dog.
Yes.
Really was a nice dog.
He was Whitey the first.
Whitey the first, yeah.
But we had Whitey the second. Whitey the second wasn't nearly, not the dog. I've only known two other dogs that could come close to Whitey.
You know, the things flash into your mind so
Yeah.
fast and they
Go.
go, but I gotta mention this. You remember Sammy Burns, who played trombone? But coming down Main Street, coming home from school, from junior high school, Sammy Burns with he delivered papers. So he had his paper bag over his shoulder, and he had his trombone in his hand, walking down Main Street playing the Three Blind
Three
Mice.
Blind Mice.
Knew you
That was
did.
his favorite tune.
Oh, that was just something that was just absolutely crazy.
Now, what's the date today?
28th.
The day is the 28th of June, 1992.
All right.
Listen, Pops.
Yeah,
And
you guys
we're
gotta
going to
split.
do this again.
I hope the next